All right, time to settle in for a long song.
I said I would do it.
You
I
made a
would
deal.
do it.
All right.
I don't know what it is yet, but
The longest song in our shuffle.
it's going to be fine, right?
We'll
Do you
see.
love it? Is it a good one?
Yeah, I love it, yes.
Okay. Is it more modern?
More modern. Yeah, I might have to give a bit of a disclaimer.
Okay.
Because I know people are going to be like, wait, this song is longer, this song is longer. But we have a specific way we set up our shuffle that might explain why this is the pick.
Okie dokie. All right.
So ready?
Get started.
Jump into the official intro?
Jump in.
All right. Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to our latest episode of Prog Song Sunday. I've got Jana here with me.
Hello.
And this is the show where we listen together to a prog song. It's Jana's first listen. She's discovering prog as we go, so we get her first reaction to this music, so it's fun. Yeah. And this time's a little bit special. Usually we shuffle into the song, but
because last time I had the brilliant idea. I'm like, hey, what's the shortest song on the playlist? Because we use a playlist that we shuffle through in order to select what song we're going to listen to right as we're recording. And last time I was just curious, what's the shortest song on the playlist? Let's do that.
Yeah.
And I promise I'll do the longest song on the playlist next time. Well, now it's next time, and so we're doing
there we go,
the longest song on the playlist. And if you watch this channel, you know I'm not always a fan of long songs, so
right.
I'm strapping in. I got my Coke Zero. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Tell us what it is.
All right. So as a little bit of a disclaimer, because I know people last week were kind of speculating what might be the choice and thinking about different options. One of the things I have to point out is that I set up a playlist basically in Apple Music or iTunes, and I just ordered it by song length. But there's some songs in there where they're multi-part songs, so I only have the first part in there, but I know when we get to it that we'll actually do multiple parts to it. And some songs were divided up by album sides, say for example Thick as a Brick has a part 1 and a part 2, and so if you combine them it's like a 40 plus minute song, but we already did part 1. And in those cases, when it's something like that, I tend to think we'll probably do part 1 first and then later shuffle into part 2.
So that one's disqualified.
Because it's too long, I think, to do 40 plus minutes in a show. So that's why you might be confused, oh, well, I thought it would be Thick as a Brick, or I thought it would be, whatever else. But the one that's popped up for me when I did this is Spock's Beard.
Spock's Beard.
The Great
You
Nothing.
love them.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite groups. And so this is exciting. This is a 27-minute song.
Wow.
So we're into the 27-minute category. I think this kind of leapt up to the top of the list because, classic prog, we're kind of limited to an album side length, So most of them are within 24 minutes, something like that. Whereas modern prog, they have the whole length of a CD. And technically, something like The Whirlwind, if people are familiar, is an 80-minute song that takes up a whole disc, but it's split up into various parts, so I didn't count that either. So, but this is a full track. This is one song, and it was at the top of the list of song length, so I thought it was appropriate, and I love it, so it works out.
All right.
27-minute Spock Spirit classic.
Ultimately, this is our channel.
Yeah.
So
it's up to us to decide how to do it, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of works well. I didn't plan this, but I just released a Spock Spirit album ranking this past week.
Link to it right here.
I'll link to it. That'll be a fun show. If you like what you hear in this song, then check that out for full album discussions and recommendations, a ranking. Or if you love and know Spock Spirit like me, I think that's a fun one. I talk pretty in depth about each Spock Spirit album, so. But this is one of my favorite tracks from them, so pretty excited to
What year
dive
is this
in.
from?
This is from the year 2000.
2000.
From their album 5 or V, depending on what you want.
You've played this 20 times.
Probably more than that, but at least in the capacity in this iTunes version, I guess. Because I have it on CD as well, and I have it in other forms and, in different playlists, but yeah. I think I played
a 27-minute song. So Round that out to 30 minutes. You spent, what, 600 minutes listening to this song?
Yeah, at least. So, that makes you laugh, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that 10 hours? Is that my math? Is my math right?
Oh, you're quizzing me, huh? Yeah. 10 hours, you're right.
You spent 10 hours listening to this song.
Okay, thanks, son.
I don't know why that fascinates me.
I'm proud of it. It's worth it.
Hey, whatever makes you happy. Enjoy the music.
Yeah.
You get to listen to whatever you want to listen to.
Yeah.
It just shows how much you listen to music. Because
Yeah.
you listen to music a lot. Like, all the time.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I'll just have stuff playing in the background, like while I'm at work and things like that, or driving.
Yeah.
So, and I may not be actively listening, but it's on, like, in the background, so.
Yeah.
But this is, like, one of my top, like, 10 favorite songs, so it makes sense
Really?
that this is high on my play count.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
glad that it's, like, something you love.
Yeah.
All right, we better get to it. Someone's going to be like, get to the song!
Yeah, sorry about
It's
that.
already long enough.
All right. Let's do it. This is
Okay.
The Great Nothing, Spock's Beard.
The Great Nothing. Is this, like, at the end of an album?
Yes.
not even a reason why. No thought, no need to say something, no message to sell. It played without a buzz or a showing. Out of the great nothing, it came without fail. One man with his mind full, trying to get somewhere. He thought, man, this thing could fly. He had good intentions, even some feeling. He thought, Lord, I've got to try. No thought, he had to say something. His message would sell. He got a buzz without knowing. Into the great nothing, the boy slipped and fell. Come up breathing up from the water. Man, he was so submerged. Where's the feeling? It must be way under, far from the spoken word. No, no, no corporate ladder, no hometown parade. The fat cats just keep getting fatter. What does it matter? The thing must be played.
quite.
That's pretty.
The boy has got potential, but he's never had commercial success. There's flies in his ointment, there's stuyvesants and liquor on his breath. We'll have him charge the gate. We'll have to set him straight. We'll have him seal his future fate before it's too late. I worked with them closely, it must have been 10 years ago. Of all the pains and asses, he's the worst I've had the bad taste to know. He's undirectable, completely uncoachable. But perhaps we can put him in an altered state before it's too late. See the writing on the wall. Once the man who had it all, you threw it all away. Look around and nothing's left. You've got nothing to forget. No golden yesterday. 'Cause you missed your calling. You totally lived up in the sky. You missed your calling every time. Watch the lady throw the ring. Have her come Mother says, quiet down, quiet now, quiet now, quiet now.
See, another end.
No, not yet. You miss out on some of the best parts.
end?
It's already over. Went by super fast, right?
You're funny.
So
that was really great.
okay,
That was just that was a epic. It's considered an epic, right?
certainly, yeah.
An epic tale of music that they were able to tell through all of that. That was just really cool.
Yeah.
There were a couple of points that I wanted to point out.
Okay.
Around like the 8, 9, 10 minute mark, there was a lot of stuff happening in a higher register. But I was listening to the bass line again.
Right. Yeah.
I tend to do that.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the bass line and it was playing this rhythm melody over and over again.
Yeah.
And then all the music stopped, and then it was like one instrument would play, and it was playing the bass. What the bass was playing, it was playing that melody again. What the bass was playing, which is what those instruments were not playing.
Yeah.
Before that.
That's pretty
cool.
cool.
But they repeated that, and it repeated that pattern a couple times, and then it would go back to like everything playing all at once.
Yeah.
With the bass playing that line, and then everything would stop, and then a new instrument would play that line that the bass was playing, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's
a
pretty
good
cool.
catch. Yeah.
I really like that. I thought that was cool. So
yeah,
I think that's what I kind of do is a lot of times when there's a lot of sound happening, I'll like hone in on the beat or the bass line or something like that, just to like kind of ground myself in, not that like what the other instruments are doing is chaos, but grounding myself in what could be like a lot of sound.
Sure.
And so I really enjoyed that moment that I was able to like hear that. I was listening to that bass sound, and all of a sudden it was happening in the higher registers and the other instruments, and I'm like, do you hear this?
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's common in progressive rock, that you have a certain melody or a motif that gets replayed, but by different instruments throughout the piece. You know, it's bringing back a certain theme and allowing different instruments to play it. It adds to the variety, because a lot of time, you know, as we've discussed it, you know, a lot on this channel, these songs are long. Surprise. And so they're playing a lot of similar themes throughout, but to keep it varied and interesting, so it's not like 20 minutes of the same exact thing repeated. You know, they'll vary it slightly. They'll have a different instrument playing the main melody this time, or they'll have it a slightly different groove under it. You know, it's the same melody, but it's slightly altered in some unique, interesting way. It
ties everything together.
Yeah, it ties it all as one continuous piece, which I really like, because sometimes, you know, you could piecemeal different songs together to construct an epic, but the thing that unifies and brings them all together and makes sense for them to be one piece together is those things that tie together like that, those themes and repeating musical moments that you hear, but slightly different.
That was really cool.
Even like there's a main melody that plays like even right at the beginning, then it comes back later, but it's a lot darker and heavier. You know, it's these like dark like cellos and strings and stuff, and like it really builds and provides a different feel, because you've moved on in the story essentially to a different, you know, point in the story. So I think it portrays those moods and those characteristics as it goes throughout.
There was a bit of a heavy metal section that was pretty kicking.
Yeah. They're willing to go heavier or do all sorts of things. There's a lot of like jazzy stuff in there. I think a lot of jazzy keyboards and
a lot of very different sounds that they're able to make. It's just really cool.
Yeah, it's a varied song with a lot of different.
Have you
stuff
seen
going
them
on.
in concert?
Spock's Beard? Yes, but
have I seen them in concert?
So basically, after this album, they made Snow, and then Neil Morse left Spock's Beard. That's when I got into the band, so I never saw them in their original incarnation with Neil Morse. I've seen them since when they performed later. Like, they were on the cruise.
With Rio.
Yeah, with Rio.
I love Rio.
Yeah, he's been with them, like, near the beginning. So, Yeah, they were on the Progressive Nation at Sea cruise, so
Okay.
I think you were at one of the concerts that they played for.
Mm-hmm.
They were part of that big Morse Fest that we went to. You didn't go to that night, but they played the whole Snow album together as a group. So, yeah, I've seen them live a few times, and they have a magical chemistry and a camaraderie that I think is unrivaled. And probably this iteration of the band is maybe my favorite band of all time, if I'm being honest. Just this classic lineup. With Neil Morse in the mix.
Hot take.
Just, they just had a magic about them, and I think they could have even gone on and become even bigger stars in this realm, in the prog music scene. So they were kind of on the rise when Neil Morse ended up leaving the band. So, and I think this song, just diving into a little bit in the lyrics too, perhaps, what I take it to mean is like, It's almost autobiographical about Neil Morse, about like him struggling in the music business and like missing his calling in life and like feeling bad because he never had success in the music business and missed his potential and all that kind of stuff. But he ended up finding meaning in this music, even though it wasn't popular or advisable to go into this prog rock direction, because obviously it's not the popular form of music. It's not going to make him into a national or worldwide superstar of music, but it's meaningful to him because it allows him to bring out this music that has great meaning. Out of nothing, the great nothing, there's this timeless quality to this music that's coming out of it and gives it purpose and meaning.
Sorry.
Even though it's that gives it purpose and meaning, even though people told him that it would come to nothing, but he made something out of it, I guess.
I didn't know it was autobiographical. I think that's pretty cool. Because I was following some of the lyrics and there was a whole section talking about this young man had such great potential, but, he turned into be nothing. And that's what I always thought that this title was alluding to. That it's the great nothing, right?
Yeah, the great nothing.
Yeah, like what it was alluding to. It was like this great potential person, but nothing came of it. So that's really interesting to find out that it was autobiographical.
Yeah, I think it's largely...
that it was biographical. So
yeah, biographical from Neil. I think this was him kind of explaining his feelings about the music business and his career and things. So that's how I take it, at least. I could be misinterpreting it, but I think a lot of his work around this time and moving forward is very personal and talking about himself and his life story moving forward. So I think that's a big piece of this track.
I liked it.
Cool.
I mean,
too long for me. But you kept pointing out several points where you're like, it could be over.
That could be the ending.
This
right
could
there.
be the ending.
That could be the ending. That could be a new track, But I get what you talk about, how it brings the melodies and throughout the song, so it's one big overlying theme. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it tells a complete, full story. He's telling a big story here and needs the length to do it all justice. So at least, to me. I know you think, he could have done it like in...
I mean, the lyrics didn't start for the first few minutes. I'm just saying.
All right, fair enough.
No, but I did enjoy it. So
okay,
it was good. And I think seeing that live would be pretty killer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that would be a dream to see that live. All right, so thank you guys for joining us in this long episode.
The longest song on the playlist!
Yeah, the longest song. So there's plenty of other long songs. Like I said, there's songs that have multiple parts to them and are, you can combine them and stuff. So I know people will probably get technical in the comments of like, well, what about this song that's 30 minutes and 28 seconds? But,
maybe the long song that you're suggesting isn't actually on our playlist.
Yeah, maybe you could suggest more long songs. I'm sure Jana would love to... just have tons more
happened?
Long songs added to our playlist,
something's happened here that I'm not sure I've agreed with.
So suggest your long songs. We'll do them all. I'm just kidding. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this, even though it's long.
Stick around. We're at
40 minutes, 43
minutes now.
Yeah.
It'll be shorter because we'll edit. But.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us, and please enjoy the music out there, whatever you've got going on.
Yeah, enjoy whatever you love listening to, whether it's long music or short music.
Yeah, listen to a 1-minute song, listen to a 60-minute song. Whatever you want.
Live, be happy.
All right, thank you guys so much. hopefully we'll see you in another video.
Bye.
Bye.